When you look at your reflection, what do you see? When somebody gives you a compliment, how do you respond? For me, I have a love hate relationship with mirrors, and I've had this for 40 years and counting. Hi, my name is Sandra, and welcome to Tap the Soul. Here we talk about mindfulness, intentional living, and over the last couple of weeks, I have been taking myself through a journey within. This journey within is for 12 weeks, and it is called Whispers Behind My Smile. At the time of recording this, I am in week 9, where I'm focusing on balance and harmony within my life. In the video that I will link below, I talked about a mirror and journal exercise, and I thought it made sense to talk about it a little bit further exclusively in a video, just to give a little bit more context, how it came to be, my experience to date, and just sharing that with all of you. The goal of all of this is to really focus on self care, self love, self nurturing, and most importantly, what I've come to realize, a lot of self discovery. And it is my hope that I will inspire you to also take this journey to prioritize you and go through this journey that you can start whenever you want to. Now, every week I post on here on the post tab within YouTube and also on Instagram. I post a number of prompts. And the goal of these prompts is to provoke thought. It is for you to grab a notebook or to grab your notes app and to take yourself through the prompts, answer some questions, and really just have a conversation with yourself as you are prioritizing you the way I am prioritizing me. Um, the mirror and journal exercise I have not talked about before. As I said, I wrote this program with the goal of focusing on myself and decided to start sharing it with all of you. But there's a lot of other things that I do day to day throughout each week that I have not been sharing, but I wanted to share this. So, love hate relationship with a mirror. And if you're hearing a meow in the background, it's because I have one cat in front of me and one that's probably going to jump up on the desk in a moment as she's walking in the background. So when I was younger, I did the typical girl thing, right? I used to dress up in my mom's clothes, her shoes, her bra, her hat, her jewelry. And you're modeling in the mirror and you're taking pictures and you're living your best life. And that's part of the things that all of us little girls grow up and do. And then at some point throughout life, before my teenage years, I went through an experience. And then, you're okay, boo boo, you're okay, you're okay. And then at some point throughout my childhood, pre teenage, I no longer appreciated the mirror. I had moments in time that made me no longer appreciate my appearance in the mirror, and I stopped looking in a mirror. Now, I did the typical where, you brushed your teeth and did your hair and got ready for school. And then as I got older, got ready for work, and you would dress up accordingly and you'd have to look in the mirror, just make sure that you looked clean and presentable. But I wouldn't take a lot of time and focus on myself outside of that. Now, growing up along the way, um, I didn't take compliments well either. So people would compliment me on my appearance or whatever, and I'd take it, hear it, whatever, ha ha ha, and just kind of keep it moving. So fast forward, I caught up with an old boyfriend. Now we had kept in touch over the years and talked about spouses and kids and now grandkids and whatever else that's happening in each other's lives. Um, but we actually got a chance to sit down and break bread together, which we haven't had a chance to do in decades. As we're talking, enjoying our meal together, he made a comment complimenting me on my 2023 version and the 20s version of when we dated. And, I took the compliment and just kind of did my usual, thank you, ha ha ha, whatever, yeah, 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 and just kind of kept it moving. After dinner, when I got back home and I'm brushing my teeth and getting ready for bed and taking off my face and all the things that you normally do to get wind down for the evening, I remembered looking at my reflection and smiling. And initially, the smile was because it was nice to know that, again, that friendship was able to be maintained. And fast forward almost 20 years later, we're sitting down and we're catching up and having a good time. And the compliment that he said popped into my mind, and I smiled a little harder. And it was probably one of the first times that I really looked at my reflection. And I'm looking at the 50 some odd year version of myself now, and remembering that 20 some odd year version that he talked about and the compliment that he gave. And I realized that I really haven't looked at myself in the mirror in a good 40 plus years, like really looked at myself. So I started figuring out, how do I change that? And I didn't make it a routine right away, but it organically became a routine, came into the flow of my life, so to speak. I started making a point of always giving myself a compliment every time I was looking in the mirror. So if I was brushing my teeth in the morning, or getting ready for work, or getting ready for bed, or in between running from the shower to getting dressed, or whatever it was, if I was looking in the mirror for any extended period of time, I tried to make sure I found something to compliment myself on. I'm going to say right out of the gate, it is not easy. I have a lot of self worth, uh, self confidence issues that I am working through, and it became more and more evident because I was struggling to find something to compliment myself about. And this is not just about the external appearance of myself. I'm also talking about just the overall being of who I am, who Sandra is. So there'd be some days where, yeah, I may look cute, but my mental state of mind is not in a good place. I could have had a really bad day at work, and I just feel like I've just been beaten, and I'm just like beaten down emotionally, and I got nothing left in me. If I'm having a conversation that may not have gone well in work or in my personal life, and I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm asking myself a bunch of conversations that I just won't go into details now about. But the exercise became intimate for me with myself on how to find that self-worth and to find that self-confidence and to appreciate my appearance. Now, I'm trying to reverse a behavior habit that I've had for over 4 decades of my life. So definitely not something that is easy, and I still struggle with that today. So the mirror and journaling exercise. Now that I've given you some of the history on how it came to be, 2024, I decided that I was going to move across the country. And in doing so, I had a lot of conversations with myself because I didn't really have a full plan. I just knew that I was moving, I was driving, I was packing up everything. My family was coming with me this time. When I did this before, my family didn't come with me. So this time, my family was coming with me. And my conversations with my mirror was now getting into the point of the to do list in a conversation with myself in the mirror. Now, I would suggest that if you're able to do this, um, be able to do it without distractions. So if you can have a few moments, and it doesn't take a lot of moments, right? But if you can have a few moments to yourself where there's no spouse, no partner, no kids around, dog, cat, budgie, fish, whatever, if you could really just have a few isolated moments of yourself in the mirror, that would probably be the best way to go about it. That's what I found for me. What I also found was, it got heavy when I was doing that and I was completely naked. And that is an experience within itself because as we age, our body no longer looks the same. So, the version of me that loved a mirror was what, 5 or 6 years old. And the version of me looking at a mirror now is 50 plus years old, right? Very different bodies from then to now. And yes, you've seen your body over the years, but now I'm truly looking at my body. And in the last video, I talked about not being in balance with my health and not being balanced in the relationship with self. So this mirror exercise has really been helping me to get more in tune with myself to address health as well as my relationship with myself. And again, this is not just about the external appearance. When you're standing in front of the mirror, absolutely naked, with no interruptions, no distractions, and having an intimate heart to heart with yourself, you start to really uncover a lot of things that is not the external appearance. It really is about what's going on within, those whispers behind your smile, the things that you don't get to address because you're too busy doing all of the roles and responsibilities that we have in our life. So, being able to stand in front of a mirror, absolutely start naked and look at your body, like look at the external version of you. Give thanks that you are still standing. Doesn't matter whether you've gained or lost a little, you got scars there and you got an extra jiggle over there. At the end of the day, you're standing in front of your mirror and you're looking at your reflection. Give thanks for where you are. It doesn't matter where you're trying to get through, right? Or get to. Standing in front of that mirror, give thanks for where you are. That's part number one. Part number two would definitely be, have a real conversation with yourself. And this is not about beating yourself up. This is really about just being gentle with yourself. And whether you're a man or a woman, it does not take away from the steps in the exercise, right? Like, really just have a heart to heart with yourself. And that's why not having anybody around to distract you allows you to be unguarded and just raw and vulnerable with yourself and have a conversation. I usually find something to compliment myself with. And sometimes the complimenting of myself is just as simple as being, I am still standing. It doesn't matter if I'm still standing and my body is aching me from health ailments, or I'm tired, or I had a shitty day in the office, or I've got problems with the partner, or I want to deal with whatever with the cat, or the job, or the car, or the house, or like it doesn't matter. Sometimes standing there, the compliment to myself is that I am still standing. And to give yourself that moment to just decompress and exhale. Now, I've talked about the power of the pause in a podcast, and I'll put the link for that actually in the description as well. I think it's really important that we take the time and we do pause and we take the time and we have these conversations with ourselves. These whispers behind our smile haunt us. And I'm speaking for me, and I know others have said it in other conversations I've had when I used to live stream, right? These whispers behind my smile haunt me. And the whole reason of doing this program is to minimize the whispers and intentionally address what I've been putting off and avoiding for days, weeks, and in this case, decades, standing in the mirror. So, how do I do this? I'll give an example. Getting up in the morning, I do my morning journaling that I talk about in other videos. So I journal in the morning. I read The Pivot Year by Brianna West. I read some other things that may be on my side on my night table to read, and I get ready to start my day. Now I have a full length, massive, heavy duty, wood framed floor length mirror that I have come to appreciate. It's not something you can lift by with one person, so it traveled with me from Toronto to here, and it is in my walk-in closet. And there's some days I don't look at it, but I always have to look at the big mirror that's in my ensuite bathroom. I brush my teeth to a song, and while I'm doing that, I try to make sure that I am actually giving thanks and appreciation and complimenting myself. And something could be as simple as the fact that I'm taking the time to brush my teeth to a song and slowing down myself and being responsible to myself and consistent to myself to make that a part of my flow. Other times it may be that I feel a little cute today with whatever I'm wearing, or whatever I'm doing. However, I've styled my hair, like the fact that I got the right angle with no makeup on, and I feel perfectly, put together. The conversation could be personal because it is your personal conversation. I'm just throwing out a bunch of different things that I've come across the way throughout my journey so far. What I'm also making sure that I do is that I journal. So I do journal in the morning, but there's times when I might go back into the journal before I start the rest of my day, and I will scribble down, complimented myself on blah 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 blah, or I'm happy today because of, or I've done it where I said I look cute today because whatever reason I put myself together and I feel like I look cute today. And the reason why I'm asking and suggesting that people take the time to do this is that in a world that is all about external appearance, we spend so much time in social media where everybody's trying to look perfect and everyone's trying to replicate other people's looks and look a certain way and to do a certain thing. We're modifying bodies and all of whatever we got going on. Those are choices that you're entitled to make. But the one thing that you should do is still have a conversation with yourself, understand where your state of mind is, appreciate the body that you've been given. And if you need to make changes, you know that you're making changes for the reason why you want to make them and not because you're seeing an image in a social media post somewhere that is provoking that thought. I'm going to get ready to tap out here, but I just want to say that as we go through life and we're going through experiences, doing something like a mirror and journal exercise really allows us to be intimate with ourselves, to be vulnerable with ourselves, to be raw with ourselves, and in this case, to be naked with ourselves, to ask ourselves the questions that you may not necessarily want to ask yourself or have somebody else involved in the conversation. And it also brings a lot of awareness on things that you don't get time to focus on. So when you take this time for you and you're uninterrupted, whether you are naked or fully clothed and it's in passing, or you can make a concerted effort to carve out time, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, whatever, and just have a conversation with yourself in a mirror, It definitely gives you an opportunity to continue growing and to celebrate the growth that you've done and not beat yourself up for what you haven't done, but appreciate where you are and keep looking forward and navigating what you want to continue doing to enhance the quality of your life, to be mindful, to be intentional, to give yourself what you need to make sure that you are living your fullest possible life at this stage. So, tapping out here, look forward to talking to you again soon. The links are in the description below. The posts are on the community tab here, or on the post tab here on YouTube, also on my Instagram page at TaptheSoul. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and I look forward to seeing and talking to you all again soon.